Ladies and gentlemen, everything you seek, the love, the wealth, the peace, the success, already exists, not in the future, not in the hands of fate, but in your imagination right now. You do not need to beg for it, chase it, or earn it. You need only to accept it in the secret place within yourself. The secret is simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you close your eyes and dare to feel as though your desire is already yours, you shift your reality. The moment you embody that feeling, you are no longer hoping for it, you are living in it. And the world outside will mirror back what you have accepted within. Imagination is not a toy, it is the creative power of the universe clothed in your own mind. What you accept as true in your imagination becomes true in your world. Do not wait for evidence to believe. Believe and you will see. Live from the end, speak from it, feel from it, sleep in it, act as if it's already yours and it must come to pass. This is not arrogance, this is spiritual law. The outer world is nothing but the echo of your inner conversation, so change the conversation. Talk only of what you want, think only of what you love, feel only what you desire, and reality will reform itself to match. There is no power outside of you. The moment you take full responsibility for your inner world, your outer world becomes your servant. So tonight, before you sleep, don't replay the day, replay the dream, feel it real, and when you wake up, walk in it, not to get it, but because it is already yours. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. The greatest secret is not in asking, but in being. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to step out of the waiting room and into the reality of your desire. This means you must feel now what you would feel if it were already done. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after results show up, but now. The imagination is not limited by time or space. In the theater of the mind, you are already everything you desire to be. And once you accept that, the world outside begins to bend itself to match that truth. You are not a beggar in this universe, you are its creator. And creation begins within, not with effort, but with assumption. The moment you feel yourself to be what you long to be, you claim it. You seize it in the unseen, and the seen must follow. You do not wait for the outer to give you permission. You move inward, boldly, quietly, into the state of your fulfilled desire, and you dwell there. It is not fantasy, it is faith in action. Assumption is not pretending, it is being. It is the invisible act of becoming what you choose to be. When you close your eyes and enter the silence, you are entering the womb of creation. In that sacred space, you must drop all doubt and become single-minded. What would you feel if you had already become the version of yourself you dream of? What emotions would flow through your body? What thoughts would dominate your mind? What would no longer worry you? That is the state to assume. That is where your power lies. The secret is not in changing the outer world. It is in assuming a new state within, and then letting the outer reflect it like a mirror. Every state is a frequency, and the universe is a perfect echo chamber. When you feel rich, loved, healthy, successful, not as a hope, but as a present reality, life responds in kind. This is the law, this is the power. When you assume, you shift identity. You move from lack to fulfillment, from desire to possession. And once you do that, no force on earth can stop the manifestation. It must come, not because you want it, but because you are it. This is why you must persist in the assumption, even when nothing appears to change. The world moves slowly at first, but within you, everything is already changed. Do not be tempted to look for proof. Your only task is to stay faithful to the new feeling, the new identity, the new version of you that already has what it seeks. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the seed. Water it daily with belief, with imagination, with love, and in due season the harvest appears. Always. The world you see with your physical eyes is not the cause, it is the result. It is the printout of the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you hold within. What appears real to the senses is simply the shadow of what is imagined. The true substance of life is not out there, it is within. And the power behind it all is your imagination. Whatever you accept as real in your imagination, you will one day experience in your life. That is not a metaphor, it is law. Imagination is not idle daydreaming. It is the creative force of the universe operating through you. Everything you have ever achieved, every person you have known, every place you have been, all began first in the invisible world of thought and belief. Before there was a chair, someone imagined a seat. Before there was a house, someone saw a home in their mind. All things are made first in the unseen, then formed in the seen. The outer world is always playing catch up to your inner world. Therefore, if you wish to change your life, do not try to fix the mirror. Fix the reflection that causes it. That reflection is your imagination. To live as a conscious creator means you must take control of the images you entertain. The stories you repeat to yourself, the scenes you replay, the emotions you dwell on, all of them are shaping your tomorrow. Every time you imagine yourself as poor, unloved, or unworthy, you plant seeds that must grow. But when you imagine yourself as successful, joyful, powerful, or healed, you begin to change your fate from the inside out. There is no limit to what you can create because the substance of creation is within you. It is not the facts of your life that matter, but the assumptions you accept. You can be standing in the most difficult circumstances and still imagine something better, and by doing so, begin the process of transformation. When you persist in a new assumption, the old reality begins to dissolve. The people, events, and situations that no longer match your inner world fall away, and new ones appear. This is not magic, it is spiritual law. The moment you understand that imagination is reality, you stop reacting to life and begin directing it. You wake up to your power. You no longer accept circumstances as fixed. Instead, you ask, what am I imagining that is keeping this alive? Then you change the image, you change the state, and life must obey. Because life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. You have imagined everything into being, whether consciously or unconsciously. So the question is not whether imagination works. The only question is, are you using it intentionally? Your life is your answer. To imagine wisely, lovingly, and deliberately is to take hold of the steering wheel of your destiny and guide it exactly where you choose to go. The world teaches you to believe only what you can see, but that is the path of delay, not of creation. Real power lies in reversing that order. You must believe before you see. You must walk by inner vision, not outer evidence. This is the great divide between those who live by faith and those who live by faith. Faith is not blind, it is inner knowing, a conviction so deep, so rooted, that the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. If you wait to see proof before you believe something is possible, you will wait forever. Because the world outside reflects what is within you, not the other way around. The moment you believe something wholeheartedly, your mind and emotions align with that belief. That alignment is what shapes your behavior, your mood, your energy, and ultimately your results. Belief is the seed from which the tree of your reality grows. To believe is to accept something as true, not just with your lips, but with your feelings. The moment you claim a thing inwardly, even if no evidence yet exists outwardly, you begin to move toward it. But more importantly, it begins to move toward you. Doors begin to open. People begin to show up. Circumstances rearrange themselves to make your inner assumption real. All of this starts with belief, because belief is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. You may think belief is hard, that it requires effort, but belief is natural. You are always believing something. The question is, what are you choosing to believe? Are you believing in your doubts, your limitations, your past failures? Or are you believing in the new you, the fulfilled, successful, healed, and powerful version of yourself? You are always placing your faith somewhere. Place it wisely. You do not have to force belief. You simply have to persist in assuming that what you desire is already yours. At first it may feel like pretending, but soon it becomes familiar, then natural, and once it feels natural, it manifests. That is the law. You don't need to know how it will happen. Leave the how to the unseen power that governs all things. Your job is to believe that it already is. Belief is the invisible mold that reality fills. Think of your mind as the potter's hands, shaping the clay of experience. What you believe becomes your world. If you change your belief, your world must follow. This is why great transformations often happen before anything is visible to others. They happen inside, quietly, confidently, completely. And then, one day, the outer world catches up. So stop waiting for proof. Become the proof. Believe first, believe now, and you will see it. The evidence will appear, not because you chased it, but because you knew it was already yours. That is the path of the awakened creator. That is how you manifest anything, and do it fast. Every event, every person, every circumstance you encounter is a reflection of your inner state. The outer world is not a separate force acting upon you. It is your mirror. What you hold in consciousness, what you dwell upon emotionally, must externalize itself in your experience. This is the fundamental law of life. You are not reacting to life. You are producing it, moment by moment, through the thoughts you entertain and the feelings you persist in. The world is a faithful servant, never a master. Most people believe the outside must change before they can feel better inside, but that is the great illusion. Peace is not found by changing the world, but by changing your response to it. And your response comes from your state of being. If you feel unloved within, the world will reflect relationships that reinforce that feeling. If you carry lack in your thoughts, life will echo back conditions of limitation. But the moment you shift your inner state, the moment you choose to feel abundant, loved, secure, confident, the world around you begins to reconfigure to match your new frequency. This shift does not require years of work or elaborate rituals. It begins in a single moment of decision, a silent decision to dwell in a new reality within. The moment you change the conversations you have with yourself, the moment you stop rehearsing your pain and start rehearsing your joy, you awaken the power that governs all creation. This is not imagination as fantasy, this is imagination as causation. It is how life truly works. What you accept as true within, you will meet as fact without. You have always been creating, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Your inner world has always been shaping your path. The challenge is not to begin creating, but to become conscious of what you are creating and why. Ask yourself, what state am I living from? That is the only thing that matters. If you are living from fear, insecurity, or desperation, you will continue to encounter experiences that validate those states. But if you begin to live from faith, gratitude, confidence, and peace, regardless of the present conditions, life must obey your new command. You do not have to control the world. You only need to govern the inner space where all things begin. Do not fight with appearances. Do not struggle against the facts. Instead, withdraw into your inner world and revise what you see in the imagination. The moment you feel the change within, the outer must follow. This is law. It is not optional. The outer world is plastic to the mold of your inner assumptions. There is no one to change but self. And to change self, you need only change your state. This is the true meaning of transformation. Not a surface rearrangement, but a deep, silent shift in who you believe you are. When you truly change within, the world rushes to reflect your new self, back to you in form, in people, in outcomes. That is the divine order of life. To live from the end is to place yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in the state of the wish fulfilled, and remain there. This is the secret to fast manifestation. It is not about hoping something will happen, but about moving into the knowing that it already has. It is to walk as though it is done, to think, speak, and feel from the place where your desire is already a fact. When you live from the end, you stop trying to get. You begin to express what you already are. Living from the end is not pretending, it is claiming your rightful identity. If you desire to be successful, you must assume the inner posture of success now. If you want to be healed, you must walk, think, and feel as one who is already whole. This assumption becomes your new home. It becomes the mental and emotional address from which you operate. And the outer world, bound by divine law, will mirror that new address with matching events, people, and outcomes. Most people live from the middle, constantly watching the world, adjusting their emotions based on what they see and asking, is it working yet? That is living in reaction. But when you live from the end, your inner state is fixed. You are no longer swayed by appearances because you know the truth within. You have felt it. You have accepted it. You are it. The end is not a distant result, it is a present experience, felt inwardly with conviction and clarity. You must learn to dwell in the end. to return to it repeatedly until it becomes your natural state. This means creating inner scenes that match the outcome you desire and replaying them until they feel as real as the present moment. It means hearing the congratulations, seeing the evidence in your mind's eye, and most of all, feeling the relief, joy, and confidence that come with knowing it is already so. Once you adopt this inner knowing, you have planted the seed, and life, governed by perfect law, brings forth the harvest. The imagination is the bridge between where you are and where you choose to be. When you live from the end, you bypass the limitations of logic and time. You are no longer concerned with how it will happen, only that it already has happened in the invisible. And once it has happened in consciousness, it is only a matter of time before it takes form in the visible. Persistence is key. There will be moments when the outer world appears unchanged, but those moments are not to be feared. They are simply the final echoes of the old state. Remain faithful to the end, and the bridge of incidents will unfold. Things will shift. People will play their parts, and what was once only a vision in your inner world will stand before you in undeniable fact. Every word you speak within yourself, every silent thought you repeat, is a thread being woven into the fabric of your reality. These inner dialogues, often unnoticed, are far more powerful than anything you say aloud. Your life is not shaped by the occasional prayer or the momentary desire. It is shaped by the constant, persistent conversation you carry on with yourself in the privacy of your mind. These mental conversations are seeds, and each one contains the blueprint of your future. You may speak kind words to others, but what are you saying to yourself when no one is around? Do you lift yourself up inwardly or tear yourself down? Do you rehearse success or do you rehearse failure? Do you imagine being loved, or do you silently argue, complain, and defend yourself in imaginary battles? Whatever you focus on in your mind with feeling, you are giving life to. You are impressing your subconscious with a script that the world will be compelled to act out. Life does not question your thoughts, it simply echoes them. You cannot escape the effects of your inner speech. If your mental conversations are filled with doubt, worry, and resistance, those vibrations will find expression in your outer experience. You may work harder, try more strategies, or seek validation from others, but unless the tone of your self-talk changes, the pattern remains. The outside is not the answer, the inside is the cause. Speak inwardly as the person you desire to be. Let your inner language match your highest self. To master your destiny, you must become aware of your inner monologue and take control of it. This doesn't mean suppressing thoughts, but replacing them. Deliberately choosing new conversations. If you wish to be wealthy, hear yourself speaking of abundance within. If you desire love, engage in mental scenes where you are cherished and valued. If you are seeking healing, talk to yourself as one already whole, already restored. These mental conversations must be consistent, repeated, and felt as true. You are the only thinker in your world. No one else can choose your thoughts or occupy your mind unless you permit it. That means you hold the pen to your own story. Every time you repeat a thought, you are reinforcing a state of being. The mind does not forget easily. It holds on to impressions, especially those wrapped in emotion. That is why inner speech is the most direct path to transformation. Speak as you would if you were already the person you long to become. Every transformation begins with a conversation, so make it one worth repeating. If you persist in new self-talk, eventually your subconscious accepts it as fact, and the world will have no choice but to agree. Because your destiny is not written by chance, it is written by you, one silent word at a time. Desire alone is not enough. You may want something with all your heart, but if your inner state contradicts that desire, you will not receive it. Life does not give you what you wish for, it gives you what you are. The world responds not to your words, but to your vibration, your identity, your state of being. What you are conscious of being is always what you manifest. You do not attract what you chase, you attract what you embody. And the secret is this: you are always manifesting from your self-concept. You may want to be wealthy, but if you feel poor, if you see yourself as someone who never has enough, if you identify with lack, then wealth cannot reach you. You may want love, but if you carry the vibration of unworthiness, if you see yourself as unloved or invisible, then love will continue to elude you. You must become internally the version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. You must think from that state, feel from that state, speak from that state, until it becomes second nature. This is not about pretending or playing games with yourself, it is about transformation. It is about becoming inwardly aligned with your desires so that the outer world has no choice but to reflect your new self. You are not trying to manipulate reality, you are becoming the cause of it. You are not hoping anymore, you are being. And when you are, the world must match your being. The world is simply a mirror, reflecting back your dominant state. Change the image in the mirror and nothing happens. Change the person looking into the mirror and everything transforms. This is why trying to force outcomes or control conditions often leads to frustration. The effort is being placed outward when it should be directed inward. When you shift within, the without reorganizes itself effortlessly. Events align, people show up, opportunities appear, not because you chased them, but because you became the version of you who already lives that life. This is why identity is everything. Ask yourself, who am I being today? Not what do I want, but what am I conscious of being? If your answer doesn't match your desire, that is where the work lies. The shift does not require effort, only faith and persistence. Persist in the new state and you will become it. Feel the feelings, carry the thoughts, assume the posture of the one who already is. Let that state become your dwelling place, your emotional home, and then, without strain, you will manifest from it, because you are it. You don't need to do more, you need to become more aligned. You don't need to try harder, you need to shift deeper. Become the version of yourself that your dream life requires. Live as that self inwardly, and your world will transform outwardly. Because life is not responding to your wants. It is always responding to what you are. You are not here to struggle, to beg, or to wish your life away. You are here to awaken, to remember who you are. You are the operant power. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you, and most importantly, because of you. Every thought you choose, every feeling you dwell upon, every assumption you accept as true, these are the building blocks of your reality. There is no power outside of you greater than the power within you. The moment you take responsibility for your inner world, you take command of your outer world. Do not wait for permission to become who you truly are. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let your imagination be your guide. Believe before you see. Speak the truth you long to live. And above all, become the version of yourself who already holds the life you desire. Because the world will always echo back your state of being. You are not what has happened to you. You are what you continually imagine yourself to be. So imagine wisely, feel boldly, and live fully. From the unsubscribe button, hit if you like this video. If you don't like it, give us your expert opinion. It'll help us to improve. Thanks.